Okay. All right. Think we're live. All right, we're live right now. Wait for some people to come on before I start. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see if it's showing here. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We got a few people coming on. All right. Got a couple. Put this up here. Welcome to tonight's live. Um, Tonight I'm going to be talking about the Jessie Smollett case. Um, this happened about 3 years ago, and they had some sort of deal worked out, and I thought it was over. I thought, but I guess the Chicago police are brought forth a lawsuit against Jessie Smollett, and I'm not a legal expert by no means, but I followed the case a little bit when it first happened, and it's kind of interesting. Um, what had happened is there was alleged. Hey Thelma, how are you doing, Corey? Good to see you guys. Um, Allegedly, there was a hate crime that took place against TV star Jessie Smollett. Deanna, how's it going? And apparently, it was found out, and I'm not the jury. I'm not, I wasn't there when it happened. But my opinion on this is I think it was a hoax based on what I've seen through TV and the evidence, and just the story itself seemed kind of strange, didn't make sense to me. Um, but like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't say it actually happened or didn't happen. I believe it was a hoax. And the reason I say that is because just the story of when it happened. The story was, and you guys probably followed it. Uh, 3 years ago, you probably seen it on the news. You might not have followed it, but apparently there was a hate crime that took place, and some people walking around in Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning wearing mega hats and saying racial slurs, and I guess they recognized Mr. Jesse Smollett from the show Empire. Okay, um, and these were supposed to be racist people, and I don't know, it just seemed kind of strange. Why would they be walking around 2 a.m. in the morning? And on that day, it was very cold. I think it was like -20 or something crazy. And wearing mega hats. And these guys supposedly were carrying nooses and bleach, okay, in Chicago at 2 in the morning, right? And they just happened to recognize this man because of him acting in the movie or the TV show Empire. Okay, it just seems crazy, right? Okay, that's not to say it didn't happen because crazy things happen, right? Um, then it came, I guess, through the investigation that two uh, two guys from Nigeria, two black guys, were allegedly hired by Jesse Smollett to act out this hate crime, and you know, and then the police got involved, and they're going after Jesse Smollett hard. They brought lawsuits, and that's another reason I believe it to be true because of stuff that's happened in the past with wrongful shootings and anger towards police and the whole thing. And I think they believe it to be true because I don't think they would be going after someone that's a victim of a hate crime. It would make no sense. It would, I mean, if it's proven that it actually was a hate crime, I mean, he could sue the police department, the city of Chicago for millions of dollars. And that's why I believe it was a hoax. And, right now it's not looking good for him or the defense. In fact, he didn't get that extra money in the contract through the show Empire. In fact, he was let go, and it's not looking good on his reputation. And a lot of people that I've talked to believe it's a hoax, both black and white, and it appears to be. Now, like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't confirm or deny this thing happened, but I believe it to be a hoax. And I'm going to show you some news videos um, in the case, and it happened, I believe, 3 years ago. And there was some deal worked out where he did community service and paid a fine, but I guess the lawsuit that was brought forward ended up bringing the case to trial, and it's going to trial. And I think it's like already a couple days in, and there's going to be a jury on it. And the defense actually came forward and wanted a mistrial. And there was some allegations that the judge made a comment or something that would supposedly be grounds of a mistrial. And some crazy stuff going in the courtroom, like allegations that the judge lunged towards the lawyer and all this stuff. I wasn't there, but it just seems bizarre, the whole thing. And I believe that the defense is trying to grasp at anything because I think they got a loser here. And you know, and if he did create a hate crime hoax, it needs to come out. It needs to come out in the open, and people need to see it for what it is. Because um, number one, when you're talking about racial issues and someone being allegedly assaulted, and that can create a lot of anger, a lot of emotions. People can actually get hurt or killed in something like this. So I believe it should be brought out and proven to be either it actually happened or a hoax. Okay. And unfortunately, there are hate crime hoaxes out there. And there are true hate crimes. There really are. And and that's why if it is a hoax, it needs to be proven. If it is a hate crime, we need to know about it too. Um, who's this Vest Tech? I don't know who that is. Um, but anyway, it needs to come to light, right? And if people do create a hate crime hoax, they need to be held accountable. Now, what do I think should happen to him if it is a hoax? Right now, the man's been hurt. His reputation's been trashed. He's not working in his job right now, and it's just not looking good. So he's probably going, receive some black backlash on it, and it's not going to be good for him. So, in my opinion, um, that's enough. I mean, as long as the truth comes out. I mean, I'm not sitting here hoping that he gets, you know, more towards his way. But I mean, like I said, but I guess if people did believe it's a hate crime hoax, it would help them. And it would get sympathy from the black community. It would get sympathy from the LGBTQ community because he's a gay black man. So I guess he would get some love from those two groups. And then white people, of course, you know, um, because believe it or not, most of us are not racist, and we don't like to see racial things happen. And he would get love and support for all the way around. Um, if it was to be true, or if people believed it to be true. So I can see the motivation, but it's wrong because people can get hurt. Um, and do we have enough hate crimes going on right now that do we need to manufacture fake ones? Do we have enough real ones? I mean, really. And if they're not happening, do we need to create them to, give the impression they are happening? Either way, it's not good. Um, but anyway, that's just my opinion on this. I think it was a hoax. Just for what I heard, it just seems crazy. Out 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, and let me tell you about Chicago. During the election, like 83% of the people voted against Trump. So I don't see it being a mega, you know, a mega hotspot. I don't see Trump supporters walking around with mega hats carrying nooses and bleaches in Chicago at 2 in the morning. I can't believe that. I mean, I don't see how anybody could be that dumb. I mean, but anyway, and then now it's turning out that the brothers, I guess that he allegedly hired, he's saying that they were attacking him and they were homophobes. And from what I'm hearing, is these guys were seen at gay pride parades, and so that wouldn't make sense either. Um, it just seems really crazy. But anyway, I'm going to show you a couple news videos, and you make the call. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it was really a hate crime and Jessie Smollett was wrongfully done, or maybe the brothers framed them to make them look bad? Um, maybe they said they were white supremacists. Maybe the brothers from Nigeria, the two black guys, are white supremacists. Who knows? Um, or is it just manufactured to help boost his career and give the impression that he's a victim of a hate crime? You know. But anyway, I think it's a loser right now. I think if I was in his shoes, I would just come clean and just face the consequences. I don't think it's going to go good. But I'm not a lawyer and I wasn't there, so I can't say it did or didn't happen. I'm just giving you my opinion. Um, and like I said, hate crimes, I mean, if it happens, we need to take care of it. If it's a hoax and something to make people think, we need to take care of it too. Um, did he lie in court? Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. It just seems like it's not adding up. Um, and the Chicago police are going in on him hard with lawsuits and stuff. And I don't think they would if they believed it was a hate crime. I I just and I'm just going off what I hear. The whole thing don't make sense, but what do I know? Anyway, um, but I don't wish ill will for the guy. I think he's going to get punished enough, and I think he should just come clean, be forgiven, and let him move on. Okay. Um, but this type of stuff needs to be exposed, whether it was a hate crime or a hoax. I'm just saying. Um, okay, I'm going to show you this video real quick. Well, there's two of them I'm going to show. Before I do, um, right here, I'm putting copyright disclaimer, and what this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And allowance is made for the fair use, the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have an opinion, we're going to research, and for educational purposes too, you know, and a lot of it's going to be opinion and commentary. That's what I'm giving you. Um, and everybody out there's got their opinion. and their comments, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to do my opinion. I'm going to be respectful, and I'm not going to go in on Jessie Smollett. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Um, but fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance of favor in the fair use. Okay, so what we're going to use is these news videos as commentary. We're going to use it as education. And I'm going to give you my commentary on it. And I'm going to stop in between, in this. So, but anyway, I'll start with the first one. And you guys just sit back and watch and tell me what you think. Okay.
Chicago police investigated and said that.
Okay, sorry, I started at the beginning.
Also heading out to Chicago this morning. That is where former Empire actor Jessie Smollett is going on a trial this week. He's accused of lying to police when he reported he was the victim of a racist, homophobic attack in downtown Chicago nearly 3 years ago. Jury.
Okay, so he's going in the court, and he was allegedly, I guess the case of him being allegedly attacked with racial and homophobic slurs and apparently assaulted. Okay. And that's just him going in the courtroom. And it's going to tell a little bit. It happened about 3 years ago because of the case and the lawsuits and the COVID. It's resurfacing now. But anyway, let's continue.
Election is scheduled for today, so I do want to head outside of the courtroom live. That is where Fox 32's Joni Lum is joining us with the latest this morning. Joni, good morning to you. What can you tell our viewers this morning?
Good morning. Well, there are felony charges in this case. This was such a big case almost 3 years ago. Jessie Smollett accused of staging a hate crime against himself. They said he was the victim of a racist and homophobic crime here in the city of Chicago, and this case definitely captivated this city and the country when it happened 3 years ago. Jury selection begins at the Cook County Criminal Courthouse today. Smollett was an actor on the Fox show Empire. This case was drama-filled. Smollett told police that he was walking outside his Streeterville apartment on a really frigid night in January 2019 when two men beat him, yelled racist, homophobic slurs, tied a rope around his neck, and poured some liquid on him. Chicago police investigated and said that Smollett staged the crime to advance his acting career, that he hired two men, the Osendero brothers, and paid them with a check. There were charges.
Okay, so you see what they're saying, right? Okay, so he was saying he was allegedly attacked with racial slurs, assaulted, he was beaten, a noose was thrown around his neck, and liquid was poured on him, apparently bleach, right? And there were two brothers, I guess, that this is what the police believe, that he staged the hate crime to propel his career with the show Empire, to make himself look good, and they believe it was a hoax. They believe he hired these two men, and they're two men from Africa, two black men, and it would seem kind of weird them yelling racial slurs. I mean, I guess anything's possible. And apparently yelling out racial slurs and homophobic slurs at him, and the police ain't buying it. They think it's a hoax. They think it's BS, and they're going after him. The whole story just, to me, it just seems weird. It don't make sense. Now, just because I think it don't make sense, don't mean it didn't happen. But I'm just saying it just don't look good. Anyway, if he was framed, they done a pretty good job, because it just don't look good. But let's continue.
Disorderly conduct and filing a false police report. State's Attorney Kim Foxx dropped those charges, and then a prosecutor came in and he investigated. Smollett has held firm on his claims that he was a victim. He lived in Chicago at the time. He has since moved back to California, but today will come to the Cook County Criminal Courthouse to face these charges in a jury trial that is expected to last 4 to 5 days. Regina?
Yeah, and Joni, from what I understand, what can you tell us about the fact that cameras are not allowed inside of this courtroom?
Here in Cook County, the judge he decides whether there are going to be cameras in the courtroom. And in this case, Judge James Lynn has decided not to have cameras in the courtroom. Even though there was so much video evidence, everyone knows what Jessie Smollett looks like. He has been to this courthouse many times. We are not going to be seeing evidence from this case being shown on TV.
All right. And Joni, as you just mentioned, there's...
Okay, so, all right. So it is going to trial. There's going to be a jury. And this was a few days ago, so it's happening right now. He's in trial, and they said what, 4 to 5 days. So he could actually go to prison over this thing, and there's some serious felony charges. Um, you know, if found guilty. Now, is the jury going by it that he was actually assaulted, or I don't know. I just, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to go good for him. I think he should have just owned up and tried to plea bargain his way out of this one. Like the Chicago police are going in hard, and I think the mayor's going in too. So it's for them to do that, I think they believe they've got something, and we'll see what takes place. But but the truth needs to come out. Hate crimes are bad, and hate crime hoaxes are bad too. You can stir up a lot of, either one's not good, and the truth needs to be shown on this. Anyway, let's continue.
Video of this situation. What do you think both the prosecution and defense will be presenting in this trial? I do understand that there is a significant amount of evidence.
So much video evidence. There were the security cameras that were outside of his apartment building did not capture the crime, but showed the video that you saw, two men who are walking down that street. There's video of those two men, the Osendero brothers, in a store buying some kinds of supplies that might have been used, including the rope. And then there's the body cam video that police released.
Okay, let me stop right there. The Osendero brothers, okay? Those are the ones that allegedly he paid to act out this hate crime hoax, okay? And allegedly they bought some some red hats that look like Trump supporters and some rope. Now the Osendero brothers are saying that that they've given testimony that they were paid by Jessie Smollett and that he orchestrated this, and I guess they're saying they want to come clean. Okay. It don't look good for Jessie Smollett, in my opinion. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer and I wasn't there, but it just don't look good. What do you guys think? Do you think Jessie Smollett was actually assaulted and this is just a frame job? And or do you think he just orchestrated this to boost his popularity, to gain sympathy, and get more money from the show Empire? And if they believed he was actually attacked, they might even, who knows, they might have even made a character like Jessie Smollett getting attacked by white supremacists out there. I don't know. But in my opinion, it don't look good for Mr. Jessie Smollett. But let's continue.
Of them talking to Jessie Smollett in his apartment with that rope around his neck. So all kinds of video evidence. Smollett says he was the victim of a hate crime. The Osendero brothers who are seen in that video are expected to testify that they were cooperating with him to stage this.
Well, certainly a case that has garnered a lot of national attention for years now. Joni, thank you so much for keeping our viewers up to speed. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll be sure to check in with your team later on. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one down real quick. Okay, so you saw that news clip, right? and it tells a little bit about what was going on in the case, and the Osendero brothers, I guess, are going to testify in court, um, that it was a collaborated a hoax, that they were paid, and supposedly they're saying they got actual video of them doing a dry run, acting out this hate crime that took place. In my opinion, I think if it was a real hate crime, I don't think they would be wearing mega hats. I don't think they'd be walking around with nooses and bleed. It just don't sound right. I think they would be hidden, and they would do their assault or whatever without being noticed. I don't think the way this is playing it, but there are dumb people that do dumb stuff. So, but anyway, my opinion, I think he staged it. And like I said, whether he's found guilty or innocent, the man's going to pay the. I mean, his reputation is tarnished, in my opinion, right now. Um, they let him go from Empire, and I don't think he's probably going to get any acting jobs for a while. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Um, you know, I I'm not. I think it if it's. I think it was staged, and I think that's wrong. But God will deal with it. I'm not sitting here anger and hoping he suffers, and he's going. When you do wrong, you're going to suffer. But anyway, that's what I think. I'm going to show you this other video, and it kind of breaks down the case from the beginning. And I just want to give that Fox station a shout out for good news reporting, and showing us the details. Right now, I'm going to add another video here, and it's another news reporting, and it goes a little bit more into detail about the case. Go ahead and add
Jessie
it.
Smollett on trial almost 3 years.
Okay, and this is NBC News Now, and they did a good job in putting this together, and they explain it more in detail. And I'm going to go ahead and show this, and I'll stop it in between. We'll talk a little bit about it.
Jessie Smollett on trial almost 3 years after he says he was assaulted in a racial and homophobic attack in Chicago. Investigators saying that story is a complete lie and that the entire incident was staged to help further Smollett's career. Megan Fitzgerald has more.
Tonight, actor Jessie Smollett on trial for charges that he staged a racist and homophobic attack on himself nearly 3 years ago. A jury of 12 selected earlier in a packed Chicago courtroom. In 2019, Smollett said he was attacked by two men who threw a noose around his neck and poured chemicals on him while yelling racist and homophobic slurs and support for President Donald Trump. Authorities allege Smollett paid two brothers to carry out the attack. Chicago police call.
Okay, let me bring this back real quick. Okay, look. Now tell me, do these guys look like white supremacists? I mean, if they were the ones that attacked them, do they look like they would be yelling racial slurs? I guess they could. I mean, these guys are brothers from Nigeria that were paid to, I guess, orchestrate this. Allegedly. Okay, I wasn't there, so I'm going to say allegedly. Okay. Let's continue.
The attack. Chicago police calling it a publicity stunt in 2019.
Empire actor Jessie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career.
Investigators say he was unhappy with his.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Okay, you seen the police chief right there earlier before this scene, and he says he believes he was doing it to further his career and using a hate crime. And now if this man, the police chief, is saying this, right, and he's wrong, and it's proven that Jessie Smollett was a victim of a hate crime, could the police chief lose his job? Could the police department be sued in a countersuit? Could the city of Chicago be sued for millions of dollars for slander? And if you're going to accuse somebody and bring a lawsuit I just don't think they're going to just do it because they want to just take him down for no reason. I think they believe that they got a case here. But let's continue.
Salary on the TV show Empire, setting up the scheme to try and secure more money.
Smollett paid $3,500 to stage this attack and drag Chicago's reputation through the mud in the process.
Smollett and his legal team have...
Okay, let me stop it right there. Okay, you hear what the police chief said, right? That he paid, I guess, $3,500 to these men to act out this hate crime, and if he did that, yeah, that would put a bad reputation on the city of Chicago, right? It would give white people a bad reputation. It makes us look racist, and there are racist people out there. Yes, there are, but you know that can this. If people believe this can erupt in a riot where people are assaulted, people could get killed. If people believe that it was a real racist attack, a lot of bad things can happen. You know, innocent people can get killed. And, you know, I just think it's dangerous. If he put this together, to me, that's selfish. To, you know, to get more money and to boost your movie career and your image, you know, at what expense? What could happen? Who could get hurt? Who could possibly get killed because you want to boost your career and use a racial hate crime to do it? There's nothing more that will stir up anger, emotions, and violence than a hate crime. You know, I'm just saying. And apparently, the $3,500 a check. Apparently, they have this, and apparently they got text messages during the investigation. Jessie Smollett didn't hand over his phone for investigation, and I hear apparently too he wouldn't give up a DNA sample. Okay, that's red flags right there if it's true. Okay, I'm not an investigator. I'm just going what I hear on the news. Okay, let's continue.
Denied any wrongdoing, and he continues to maintain his innocence.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one.
Prosecutors previously dropped criminal charges against him in 2019 after he performed community service, but a special prosecutor investigated the handling of the case by the state, finding, quote, substantial abuses of discretion and operational failures. A new grand jury then indicted Smollett on 6 felony misconduct charges in 2020 for lying to the police. This summer, Smollett's lawyer accused the special prosecutor of harboring political motives and writing in a statement, quote, Mr. Smollett is innocent of these charges, and now we are focused on moving forward to trial. The 2 Osundario brothers Smollett allegedly paid to stage the attack, set to be key witnesses in the trial.
What's going on here? Might be arrested.
An attorney for the brothers says they expressed tremendous regret for their part in the alleged scheme.
The brothers are sorry for their involvement and that they're going to do everything they can to make this right.
The trial is expected to last a week.
Okay, so I'm stopping right there real quick. So it's expected to last a week. Okay. And do the brothers feel bad? Do they feel guilty, and they have regret on what they participated in? Or are the brothers involved in some conspiracy to get Jessie Smollett? Is Jessie Smollett being framed after being assaulted in a hate crime? Or did he manufacture a hate crime to benefit himself, his career, and get more money? To me, I think he's guilty. I think he fabricated it. I think he created this hate crime hoax, and I think he believed he was going to benefit from it. And I do believe this. And I honestly believe the jury's going to find him guilty. I just, from what I've seen, and maybe there's evidence out there I haven't seen. Maybe, but I mean, from what I've seen from the news and the stuff that took place, um, it just don't make sense to me. And two guys walking around with mega hats and bleaching nooses to me in Chicago, that seems like a death wish to me. Who would do that? Who would be that dumb? And like I said, like 83% voted against Trump in Chicago, so I don't think it's a big area for Trump supporters. I don't think it's a mega area. I just don't. And I just don't see them, you know, yelling racial slurs and just happen to recognize them from the show Empire. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were Trump supporters and maybe they loved Empire and maybe they wanted to make the show Empire great again. Maybe that was their plan and maybe it's a misunderstanding. But it just, the whole thing just seems dumb to me. I don't know. It seems comical, but if it's true he orchestrated this, it's sad. And you know, this could have gone either way. I mean, if they don't figure out it's a hoax, or maybe he gets away with it, like I said, could it have stirred up violence? Could it have stirred up anger? Um, I mean that's not something uh you don't want to do a hoax anyway, but a hate crime hoax, that's to me is playing with fire. It's dangerous. People will get hurt. You don't want to do it. It's not a good thing. But let's continue.
Right. Megan Fitzgerald joins us now from Chicago. So, Megan, this alleged attack happened almost 3 years ago. Why is it taking so long for this case to come to trial?
It's a really good question. There's a lot that goes into this. First, this, of course, act happened, and that's when Jessie Smollett notified police. At that point, they started investigating. A couple weeks later, they charged him, saying that this was a hoax. After that, the charges were dropped. There was something called a pretrial diversion. That was something that Jessie accepted, meaning that he didn't have to plead guilty. He paid $10,000. He did some community service. But then there was a special prosecutor, as we detailed there in the story, that found evidence. A grand jury was convened and charges were brought. So it was the back and forth, but then also the pandemic. So fast forward nearly 3 years later, and Jessie Smollett is on trial.
And the Chicago Police Department is so convinced this was a complete lie and a hoax on Smollett's part that they also have a lawsuit against him?
Absolutely. So they filed this lawsuit shortly after the charges were dropped back in 2019. They are suing him for some $130,000. They're saying that that is the overtime that they had to pay officers for more than 1,800 hours as they investigated this crime, something that they say is a hoax, Tom.
Megan Fitzgerald for us tonight. Megan, we thank you for that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this down. Yeah, you saw it there, right? You saw two news footages, right? If and the police really believe he orchestrated this hoax. They do. And my thing on it is, if they're wrong, they're going to be sued for millions of dollars. But I don't think they're wrong. I honestly don't. And they don't think they're wrong. They're going after them. And like I said, with all the unrest and turmoil here in the recent past with police and shootings and the George Floyd thing and all this stuff going on, you think the police would go after him if they really thought he was a hate crime victim? And being that there's no outrage really out there, I don't think the population believes that he was a victim of a hate crime. I think most people think it was a hoax. I really do. It just, the whole thing's bizarre. It just, for it to happen, it just don't make sense. I mean, to me, and if I was his legal counsel, and like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I really don't know what the best thing is. But what I think would be the best is that he comes clean and tries to plea bargain out of it a little bit, pay the 130,000. Um, he's probably got it. He's an entertainer, right? He's pay the 130,000, give him an apology, and move on. It's going to hurt his reputation and career either way, in my opinion. I don't think, regardless of what the outcome, regardless of what the jury says, I think this has hurt his career and his reputation. So I would just count my losses, pay the fine, you know, and maybe the city of Chicago and the police department will say, okay, we'll plea bargain as long as he admit he made a mistake and move on. But going to trial, he can be convicted of, these are felony charges. These are serious. He could do some jail time over this. It's a serious thing, putting out a false police report. It's, and, if he was saying in these court cases, he could be charged with perjury too if he's lying. I mean, there's so much they could charge him for. And I'm going to tell you, when it comes to law enforcement, they're going to go for everything they can charge him on. And, a lot of times they'll do that. They'll get you on an offense and they'll add more to it that they see. Okay. Not always, but a lot of times. So I just, right now they're building their case and they're looking for everything. And I believe they got evidence. And I don't know how he's going to beat this thing. But I don't know. And I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing it the wrong way. Maybe he was actually a victim and they just, he got railroaded and, they framed him good. But honestly, I think he orchestrated this, and I think it's a hoax. Yeah, Corey. Yeah, and it's going into politics. Yeah, they're going to bring politics into it. A lot of times, and they'll bring race into it, politics. The defense is going to use every tool they have, and that's their job. And they're going to try to make it political. And anything you could throw out there, maybe you could get one of the jury members to, see it the other way and maybe have a mistrial. I think that's where the defense is going. I think they're trying to, and like the stuff that was going on in the court case and trying to get a mistrial. I think the defense is scared, and I think they're trying to create a mistrial because I think that's the only thing they got going. So I think they're shooting for that. If he goes to jail, he might get yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the guy's going to pay anyway, and I just think he should come clean and just cut your losses and rebuild. You can afford the 130,000 and just plea bargain your way down. And who knows? They might just want you to admit you're wrong, and maybe they won't. Maybe you get out of some of the cost. But he probably don't want to do that because that'll hurt his reputation to admit he orchestrated a hate crime. But I think everybody believes he did it anyway. I mean, and if he did, the right thing to do would, tell the truth. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But anyway, guys, that's my opinion on this, and and this case here, it's real serious. It's very serious because here's the thing: whenever there's a hate crime, okay, we need to take care of it. We need to hold people accountable, punish them for it, and also when it's a hoax, we need to take care of it. We need to shed light on it, because right now, what's that say about the city he's in, where it took place? What's it say about a group of people? Um, you know, I I'm just saying, and how many people are going to get stirred up? Can someone get assaulted? And there's many of hate crime hoaxes. There's actually a website. I think it's hatecrimes.org or something. There's actually a website where it shows all the hate crime hoaxes out there. And to me, why would you create a hate crime hoax? To get sympathy, be the victim. Um, and sometimes people are like that. There's been people that have created stuff, and I'm not just saying like a hate crime hoax, but just claiming to be a victim of an assault or of something that might not even take place, just to get sympathy from people. I think that's what the guy wanted. I think he felt it would boost his career, um, and it would get a bad name. It's going to make white people look bad, racist, right? A lot of people believe that white people are all racist, and seeing a hate crime, kind of, it don't make us look good, does it? And but you can also get someone killed in this too. Um, is there anyone actually believes he is telling the truth? Uh, I don't think he is, but like I said, I wasn't there. And the thing of it is it. I hate seeing things like this because it's a lose lose thing. If it was a hate crime, it it's a loser. Um, and if it was orchestrated, it's a loser too. And there's no winning from it. And do we not have enough hate crimes out there that we have to orchestrate more? I mean, if hate crimes are happening all over, why do we need to create more of them? And if they're not happening all over, why do we need to create them either? I mean, uh, this is just something that, to me, um, it's so toxic and dangerous in so many levels. And in our country, we need to bring race relations together. We need to live together. We live in the same country, the same cities, the same towns. Um, we need to shed light on the wrongdoings, and we don't need to create lies or hoaxes. The Bible says, "Do not bear false witness," right? And if he orchestrated it, he's bearing false witness. He's telling a lie. He's making Did he do it to make white people look bad? Did he do it to make Trump supporters look bad? People of the other political party look bad? Is it political driven? Is it racial driven? Um, or was he actually assaulted and everybody's out to get him? And it's a conspiracy, and I don't know. You make the call. You tell me what you think. I think it was orchestrated. I think it was a hoax, based on what I seen. And but I wasn't there. I didn't see it take place, so I can't say this is absolute truth because I wasn't there. But from what I seen, from the reporting I seen, from the circumstantial evidence, I think it was a hoax, and I think he's headed for trouble. I really do. Maybe he's got good lawyers that can, plea bargain out of it, and maybe it won't be so bad. Uh, I just don't think the defense is going to beat this. I really don't. I think the best they could hope for is maybe a plea bargain somewhere, and hope for the best. Um, but let me know. What do you think? Do you think Jessie Smollett uh threw this together, created a hate crime hoax, or do you think he was an actual victim of a hate crime? Um, do you think the brothers that allegedly got paid to orchestrate this hoax? Do you think they're white supremacists? Do you think, or they're just homophobic? Because now he's saying they're homophobic. Do you think they just don't like Jesse because he's homosexual? Is that why they're going after him? Or do you think they just had their conscience got to them? They want to make it right, and they feel bad for what they took place in. I I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think. That's just my opinion. Um, but let me know. What do you think? Do you think he's guilty or you think he's innocent? Is it a hate crime or a hoax? Based on what you've seen, what do you think? I already told you my opinion, and I'm not saying it because I hate the guy. I don't even know the guy. I know he's an actor. Um, I never really knew the guy really existed till this case took place. And I seen him in the show Empire. I've seen him there. That's the only way I know about him. So something like this, it's troubling, and it makes me angry that people would create a hate crime hoax. But when I look at this and I see all this that's going on, I don't really have anger towards the man. I think he did it and I think he's wrong, but God's going to take care of it. And I just if he did do it and he did create a hate crime hoax, I just hope he learns from it and corrects it. And everybody should be forgiven. Um, and even if he did create this hate crime hoax, we got to forgive the man. We're all flawed as people. Um, and I was watching this and I was thinking about a case that took place, and this was like back in the 80s. Do you guys remember the Tijuana Brawley case up in New York, where a black teenage girl, I guess, was out late and allegedly was assaulted by white men, and then it turned out allegedly police did it, and then it allegedly didn't. It was all it didn't happen. That she was just trying to get made up the story and want to get in trouble staying out late. You guys remember that case? Um, I don't know. That was a long time ago, but that one, I think people actually got assaulted in that. People got hurt, and I think the a state trooper, I think it was, actually committed suicide because his wife left him because she thought that he was actually assaulted this teenage girl. And yeah, that was a pretty crazy case. Um, but that was a long time ago, and I think the woman, and I heard recently that she was a nurse or something, and they found out who she was and they fired her. And and I think that was wrong, but you still got to forgive. And I look at that and I was like, okay, yeah, that's wrong, but that was a teenage girl. Maybe she was manipulated. I don't know, but nothing good comes from a hoax. And a real hate crime, nothing good comes from that too. We don't want either one, right? Um, I'd rather have hoaxes than the real hate crime. We can deal with a hoax much better than an actual hate crime, because an actual hate crime, people are getting severely injured or killed. You know, I've seen uh, I've seen deals on actual hate crimes where people just get killed. I mean, so I mean, I'd rather deal with a hoax. Hoax we can deal with, but the real thing, well, a hoax can be deadly too because people can react on emotion, anger, and that's dangerous too. But anyway, guys, that's just my opinion on it, and the reason I brought up this Jessie Smollett case is because I believe it affects us as a people. It affects us, as a country. And when we need to bring ourselves together as a nation, and there's many different groups of people from around the world in our country. I think we need to live together and be one nation. I think seeing stuff like this, it's troubling. Um, and and what I would say is, don't believe everything you hear. Um, because when this case broke, I mean, the media ran with it like it was fact, like it happened. And before they even got the evidence, it was all over. And that's how the media does. When you get a racial issue or a hate crime, I mean, stuff that stirs emotion, they blow it up. They send it everywhere because, you know, the media out there is going to make lots of money. And people watch stuff. People like watching violent stuff, racial stuff, a lot of drama, a lot of stuff going on. People are attracted to that. Um, and they run with stories like this. And a lot of times I wish they weren't so quick to get the story out. I wish they would, get the facts before they run with it. Um, or at least, say, hey, this allegedly happened, but it's being investigated. We don't know for sure if it took place, um, or something. Uh, but it seems to me like the media is at fault too because they ran with it. And the media is out there trying to make money. They're trying to get the story out. Each network's trying to beat each other, right? Um, but you know, um, but what do you guys think? Let me know. Um, I'll put the link up there if you guys want to come on. You can. I'm going to do that every time I do a live. I'm going to put the link up there. So if anybody wants to come up, if I don't recognize you, I'm probably not going to let you up. Okay. Um, but if you're new and if I recognize you, I'll let you up. And if I do let you up, and well, anyway, but it's up there if you guys want to come up. And I'll leave it a few minutes before I close down. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to and that's 1 o'clock Pacific, Corey. But yeah, at that time I'm going to have my prayer meeting, and I got a little something on my mind. There's a couple things I want to talk about. I'm not going to tell the topic yet because I'm trying to think about the best topic to put out there. But I got some ideas. I think it's going to be good. So at 4 o'clock, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going later on that evening, I'm going to do a live. And it's going to be about interracial relationships. I don't know exactly the topic I'm going to go on just yet. I'm working on a few. So that'll be a fun show. And the prayer meeting, we'll come together, uh, give God the glory, and come together and read a couple scriptures. And, we'll go on from there. And then later that evening, it'll probably be like a couple hours after the prayer meeting. Just some time to take a little break and get something to eat and stuff. And you're going bear hunting in the morning? All right, well, yeah, get that bear in the morning and then come back at 1, Bear hunt. Oh man, make sure you bring a powerful rifle. Bears can be dangerous, especially you run into a grizzly bear. Do they have grizzly bears in Oregon? I know they probably do. I mean, maybe not like Alaska. I know in Colorado they found a grizzly bear out in Colorado one. It was like a few years ago, and it actually killed a couple people like on a nature trail up in the mountains and stuff. And I guess they had to go get them, but they're kind of rare in Colorado, but they have been seen. Black bear, yeah, black bear's not as aggressive, but I wouldn't want to deal with a bear coming at me anyway. Um, don't hurt animals, Corey. He promised he won't. But anyway, we'll have the prayer meeting tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 p.m. Mountain, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then add 6 hours? That would be 10 p.m. in the UK, I think. Yeah. And then Canada, you fall in the same time zones as we do. So, and then, in the Caribbean and stuff, I think they're kind of in the same time zones too. But anyway, join me for the prayer meeting, and and then later on we'll talk about interracial relationships and stuff. And I got a few topics I want to talk about and stuff, kind of get you guys to thinking. And I want to start talking about, dating interracially, having relationships, breaking down, and some of this will be a little recycled, but breaking down those barriers, because I think we really need to get into this, because a lot of times when it comes to interracial relationships, we really we create more barriers than we need to have. And it's due by stereotypes and generalizations and stuff. And you know but interracial relationships, that they're improving, they're getting as society goes, is more accepting. And I know when it comes to white people, I've seen a drastic increase of people accepting. um I've just, it's amazing. um it's becoming more of a norm and stuff. And I know black women still get shamed and stuff, and it's sad, and I hate to see that. Um, but it's becoming more of a norm, and I think as people in our nation, we're getting we're having relationships together and getting to know that people that don't look like us, you know, are awesome, and they're beautiful and stuff. And I when I talk about black women, there's not many bad things I can say. I mean they're awesome. What can I say? I mean, black women are just doing great things, and people are starting to see it. And it's a shame that everybody can't see, the progress being made, the when it comes to education and businesses. And I made videos about this, about black women leading the way in business, education. Um, and no wonder when it comes to interracial marriages with black women, they seem to last, right? Black women are loyal. So I mean, I see the truth, and more and more people are seeing the truth. But we'll talk about that stuff later. And I just hope you guys enjoyed this live, and just think about the case. Don't harp on it, don't let it run your life, but just take it with what it is and what you see. Um, if it's a hate crime, gosh, it's bad. And if it's a hoax, it's bad too. It just, um, And Jesse's going to suffer. And it's probably already taken a toll on his career and stuff. And, Empire let him go. So, I mean, I know there's some people that think he did it and just want him to pay and suffer for what he did. But you know what? God will take care of it. And I don't sit here in anger and a lot of times I see people do things wrong. And, lately I don't sit there in anger and just wish that they just, because I look at the Bible and it says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Let the Lord take vengeance. That's not our place. It really isn't. Um, and I think we'd be better people if we let God handle that stuff. Of course, hold people accountable for what they do. We need to do that, but not in such a way to where we're so vengeful that we just wish the worst on the guy. I mean, yeah, have him be held accountable, and once that's taken care of, then also throw in forgiveness and let the man move on. And then that's what the Bible teaches, we're supposed to forgive each other. We're supposed, even when people do us wrong, we're supposed to forgive. Um, and let God handle the vengeance. That's God's place. It's not ours. And you don't want to get caught up into that where you have anger and hate and you want to just get even and you want them to pay for what they did. Don't get caught up in that. That'll consume you. Let God handle that. He'll take care of that, But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this stream. And I'll see you guys tomorrow during the prayer meeting. I'll put the times. And then later on, we'll talk about interracial relationships and have a good live. And I'll open it up if you guys want to come in and talk about it also. If you want to share your experiences when it comes to interracial relationships. And I want to hammer the barriers. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about ways white men need to approach black women and ideas for black women that they can show that, they might be interested. A lot of times there's such a barrier when it comes to interracial relationship, us just getting in contact with each other. A lot of times, and don't feel hurt if the guy's nice, but he don't make his move. He might not even be thinking about interracial dating because this, in a lot of our communities, we don't do that. We don't even think about it. It's just, and I've heard people say this. They like, gosh, I know one guy that's married to a black woman. He says, you know what? I never even thought about dating him. And his wife was, I guess, made moves on, and she was, and I talked to these people, and she was like, I never thought he was interested. He didn't act like he didn't even care. And he's like, he didn't even think about it because it's not a normal thing you do, I guess. And, we got to know her. Like, dang, I wish I, would have made my move sooner, and these people are in love. And it just, some people just ain't thinking about dating. And a lot of times they might be so attracted to you, but they might not even think they have a chance. Because I'm telling you, when it comes to guys in this, and I'll talk about more about this tomorrow night. When it comes to men, it's all about confidence and the approach. Okay? When it comes to confidence, whether he believes he's going to be successful or he has a chance with you. If he don't think he has a chance, he's not even going to make his move 9 times out of 10, right? And the approach, when is he going to approach you? Most likely when it's just you and him around, because if he does get rejected, he don't want no one to know about it, right? That's how guys think. That's how I thought. I would make my move when no one was around. That way, if it didn't work, I can ease out of there and no one sees it, right? Because we don't like rejection, but we really don't like other people witnessing us getting rejected. But a lot of times that's what's going on. But, usually women that I made my approach that, I made my move are the ones that I felt confident around, the ones that, were positive, that I could talk to real easy. I would make my move, because something about someone that's positive and has a good spirit about them, you feel more comfortable approaching them. And usually those ones that reject you that are real nice, they're probably, going to be nice about rejecting you. And I've always said this. I said, black women that have rejected me, I've never had a case where one of them just put me down or kicked me under the bus. No, they're always, it was like they appreciated that I noticed they were there and I made my move. I mean, it was like they appreciated that, even though they weren't interested. Um, guys, you might want to think about that too. And there's been some cases I didn't think I had a chance to where it worked out. I thought my wife was going to reject me, and I thought she did because she wouldn't give me her phone number when I met her. She told me to give me hers, and I thought, okay, when women tell you that, they're not interested. But she was interested. She called me a couple days later. We got together, and the rest is history. Um, so you never know. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And but I want to focus on that because I see a lot of good relationships that are not taking place when it comes interracially because we're relying more on stereotypes, generalizations, fear, worried about what someone might think. Okay. Honestly, in today's world, more people support interracial relationships than that are against it. That's the true fact. Okay. Yeah, there's trolls that come out on my channel and tell me stay away from black women and all this stuff. But most of the people out there are okay with it. I mean, they've done studies about it. Both black and white people, most of them are okay with it. Most of them don't really care unless you're with someone they want to be with. I mean, that's the majority. But you do have people that are triggered and haters and people that want to be separated racially, but for the most part, most people are okay with it. So, if you find that special person, go for it. Okay. Um, but if it bothers you what people think, if it bothers you what society might think or do, or if that's if you're struggling with that, you shouldn't interracially date. Okay. But if you can love that person for who they are and you know, love them for, who they are and the nice things they do for you, then hey, you know, love comes in all colors. Okay. That we're not, don't focus so much on color, focus on the heart. Get the best man, best woman for the job. That's the goal. Okay. Women, you want a guy that provides, that loves you, that puts you first. And men, you want a wife that, supports you, has your back, that's going to be loving, you know, and you get two people like that together, you got paradise. Okay. And that person might be a different color. You know, I have an awesome wife. I'm blessed beyond what I deserve or could ever hope for, you know. But anyway, we'll talk more about that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this live. And, I just wanted to put that case out there just to get you guys think about it. There are hate crimes, but there are hate crime hoaxes too. And just keep that in mind. A lot of times, what we perceive to be true isn't really true. Okay. Um, there's perception and reality. People always say perception is reality. Well, in your mind, it is. But truth be told, there's perception, what we think is true, and there's the truth. Okay. perception and the truth don't always line up. What we think is true don't always line up with what's true. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Sandy is a sweetheart. My wife is awesome. I love my wife. Oh my God. Um, like I said, she's awesome. You know. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the live, and you know, I love coming on for you guys, and I like talking about stuff. And you know, every now and then I'm gonna do some news things. You know, I'll throw that out there every now and then. And you know, I thought this was important to put this out there because it goes together with race relations, right? Black people and white people. You know, um, I just thought it'd be a good thing to talk about. Um, but and that's just what I talk about tonight's just my opinion. I mean, we can all have our opinions and stuff. And like I said, I don't wish nothing bad on the guy. I'm not wishing that they hammer him. I just, hope he changes, hope God deals with him. And, you know, but anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Thank you. God bless you and your families. And join me on the prayer meeting. And, whether you're a Christian or not, you could come on. Okay. You can watch. If you don't want to, you don't have to either. And I do this because I want to lift up my God. I want to show my love, respect, and I want to glorify God. Okay? And that's why I do the prayer meeting. I make that part of my channel, and you guys are welcome to come in on it. And if you have any ideas where I can improve, by all means, let me know. There's always ways to make things better. There's ways to make this channel better. There's so many ways we can make it better. And when it comes to doing social media, I'm an amateur. I'm just a guy just telling you what he thinks and just trying to make it interesting. But I always take you guys' input, and a lot of you guys know better what I could do than I do. But anyway, um, yeah. But anyway, guys, I love you guys. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to have 2 shows, a prayer meeting, and then we're going to talk about interracial relationships. And we'll go into how we can knock down those barrier walls. And I would like you guys, if you could participate, come on and tell me what you think. Tell me what ladies, tell me what white guys or other races of men are doing, what you think they should improve on, what you think they should do. And guys, you come on too and tell me, what would make it more easy to approach black women. I mean, we can all learn, right? And that's what it's about. And having fun too. We can have fun too. And everybody's welcome to come on. As long as you're respectful, you're welcome. But I enjoyed this tonight, and I always enjoy coming on live with you guys and stuff. And I'm not in my studio right now. I'm in the guest bedroom. My wife's doing a conference call in the studio right now with her co-workers. So I came in the bedroom to do this live, and I got 2 places I can do it, and that's always awesome. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'm going to put the times and stuff on the prayer meeting, and then after that we'll do like a couple hours after, just to take a break and stuff, and we'll have a fun Sunday. And anyway, though, guys, let me go. I could talk all night. And I don't know if you want to hear me circle talk, but anyway, guys, I love you guys. God bless you and your families. And thank you for coming on and in the comment section. And you guys make this awesome. You make me want to do this more and more. And but anyway, God bless you and your families, and I'll see you tomorrow.